Okay. I'm going to get a new phone. This is not that phone. This is like a very old phone from my mother. I'm sick. Just finished my first curated show that I put on, like art show. And I really overexerted myself because I was sick when it started. Now I'm sicker, and this very sweet guy asked if he could drive in from out of the city to see the show. And I was like, that's nice, but I'm sick. So I'm supposed to see him on Wednesday, but I might still be sick on Wednesday. And then I was freaking out about that because I was so tired, and then I slept all day today. While I slept, we had to tear down the show, and then we did tear down the show. And then I slept most of the day. And I had been rewatching Supernatural, which was like, at first it's like nostalgic, and then it's just kind of like, oh, the violence is just, it gets me. I want you to be like that. Yes. Yes. And this, I don't know, I've been so absent from doing these videos for so long. And like, people in real life are watching them. It's weird. It's weird, like, how, I don't know, I was going on Instagram too much, and then like watching all this like attachment theory, my brain, like, I don't know, I get fixated on these like attachment theory style like stuff, and then like whether you're avoidant or anxious or disorganized or secure, and it's like, eh, I don't know, I was thinking about like, why do I get so fixated on this? And I mean, you can just say, of course, it's like the categorization. I just, we are in these categories, and it makes like the messy relationship stuff like feel like you have it under control. But of course, like, you don't have it under control. It just gives you like this illusion of like these sensible containers. But there's so many like, oh my god, and I was just thinking, I can't I can't give anyone advice like that. I just, the internet is like saturated with people giving their 2 cents, whether they're like experts or qualified or not. It's like, people just need to live their own lives. Like, we've got so much information, and it's just, I mean, I can't imagine people looking back in 300 years and we're still using attachment theory. Like, it's there's something not right there, because in my relationships, like, let's, attachment theory, okay, that's one, and we can just take that as like, we're just gonna, believe that as gospel. But how it actually works for me is like, am I anxious or avoidant, or am I disorganized? I'm not secure, I don't think. I've got a lot of stuff going on, but it's like, sometimes you're avoidant and sometimes you're anxious. And I don't know if anyone doesn't have those times. Like, we are very malleable between different people. Like, sometimes one person will bring out that anxious tendency in you, and another person will bring out an avoidant tendency in you. And avoidant and anxious tendencies in these like personality groupings don't always go together. sometimes I've been in dynamics where the other person wanted to spend a lot of time with me, and I was like, kind of, oh, I don't want to spend that much time with you. I don't know about that. Uh, but then when we would spend time together, I was the one who was kind of like initiating. I wanted more depth of to get into conflicts or deeper emotional topics, and they kind of wanted everything to be like light. And so there was like a dual, like, who's pursuing who in that instance. You can sort of break it down and make it fit, but ultimately, like, no, I don't know if relationships are like more complicated than that, but they're like, more real, more tangible, more vast. They cover every like area of our lives. Our entire souls are wrapped up, and you can't just like the thought keeps echoing in my head. The memory of someone saying online today was like, I'm anxious and my partner's avoidant, but I want to keep him. How do I keep him? And it's like, I don't know about that. Like, how much of this stuff is because we just can't accept endings. We can't accept the seasons of life, of relationships, that we want to make it like, oh, how do relationships last forever? How do they, oh, if we just communicate, we communicate, then we'll last forever. And it's like trying to like problem solve for the pain. I just find myself in these like thought loops of just problem solving for pain, as if pain is something that needs to be gotten rid of. I'm like, my whole mind is taken over by this like anxious searching, as if every thought that I have, and this is so often that it feels like this, every thought that I have is an escape, is an attempt at escape from my present situation. There's this restless energy in me. I have to do something. What am I gonna do? What am I gonna do right now? It's like I'm sitting there and I'm like, what am I gonna do? And it's, I have to do something to give my life some meaning. I'm wasting time. I don't know. Well, I say I don't know. It's just the kind of thing you say when you have a half-baked thought at the end. It's like, I know something. What am I saying I don't know in relation to? I'm just capping off the thought with self-doubt. So Juliet's probably watching at some point. And that's funny, because she said sometimes she gets annoyed that she can't, respond, because the experience of talking to me is similar enough to the experience of watching this video, or these videos. But it's funny, because I'm making this video and I'm thinking about, what Juliet would think, but I don't know Juliet very well. I can only know like what I think, like this projection in my head of her. She's a very mysterious person. She came to my art show. And then Rose and I talk, and then Rose and I are friends, and then I'm talking to Juliet, and Juliet talks to Rose, but, none of us can ever, like, know what it's like to talk to the other when the other one isn't there, Like, what is it really like when two people you know are around each other and they're not around you? And maybe they even talk about you sometimes. And it's funny. Like, we're so afraid of each other. All of these, like, I mean, in high school, I think people are like, okay, what if I was like in high school, I was like, what if I've solved relationships and everyone before just has all these stupid rules and I'm just the one and I'm just gonna like make everything better. And oh my god, there's so many ways in my life that I'm still doing that. It's like, what if I have the secret out of the matrix uh, and nobody before me had figured it out and I could do it. And then you give it a go and it's great. uh so I feel like to give it a go is like, what if we can all just be friends? What if we were all friends and no one was mean to each other anymore and nobody iced each other out, nobody said anything behind each other's backs, and nobody judged, and we were all just friends? What if we were all just friends? It's like, oh my god. Do I have a point to that? Well, it just makes me think of another thing. There's no point. It's just you try it and you know. I mean, you've been there, I'm sure. What happened? Like, whatever happened is what happened, and you just realize like, oh, there's just a lot going on. It's like you can kind of do it and you make sacrifices, and like there's some parts of you that are like inherently unknowable by anyone else. And then there are some parts of you that you like realize are knowable and you'd really rather them not be, and you can't face that, and you can't face the disgusting horrible truth of other, like, I'm so angry and disappointed at everyone who loves me. Like, inexplicably, and you go, okay, well, what can I do to problem solve for this pain? I can leave, you know. But I've left, and I'm sick of it. I'm sick of being like alone in my own like hole because other people make me feel like I'm going crazy. You can leave. You can fight with them about it. What's wrong with you? You make me feel so terrible and crazy. You did XYZ thing to me, and you did all these things to me, and it's just like, that makes me feel even crazier. Because then, they don't fix it like you want them to, or they do fix it, and then you're in, what is it called, double bind communication, where it's like, you fixed it, but you only fixed it because I asked you to fix it, and what you're looking for isn't really, it's not in the person. It's this energy. You fall in love with this flitty eternal soul that moves from one state to the next, and sometimes you're in love with the ocean, and sometimes you're in love with yourself, and sometimes you're in love with your job, and sometimes you're in love with a dog, and then it moves to a person, and it's like, I'm really like, that energy leaves and the person is still there. And I'm sick of, so I believe, I have faith that there's still a soul in there, something, some perception in there, and I don't want to like curse someone out for just being about the same quality level as me, because I don't like to be cursed out, and it doesn't do anything. It doesn't make anything better. So the third option, stay. You just stay and learn how to resign yourself that this person is going to like fundamentally like hold you back, and they're going to hold you back from your potential. They are going to enable you in all of your bad qualities. They're going to make you feel like you're lonely even when you're around other people. They're not going to understand you. And they're going to just disappoint you over and over and over again, and you're going to feel horrible the whole time, and there's going to be fleeting moments of joy where you'll feel like, maybe things can be okay again, and then it's going to leave. But I just can't keep picking fights with people just because I'm miserable, like, because, you're legitimate for your grievance with them. You are. They're not perfect. You've seen it. You've seen the depth of their imperfection, and you know exactly the thing that you could say that would just get at them, that would make them feel the worst possible. And there's a part of me that really wants to, and I do, and I really do. The impulse control is definitely not all there yet. And people on the left like to act like, we're like less inhibited. We are somehow like freer. We want freedom. We want, people to be able to express themselves. But the like amount of kindness that it demands from you, like to grow and learn how to treat people like well in this framework, is incredibly inhibited. It's like this massive system of social rules that is exactly as elaborate as, conservative hierarchy system thinking, But it's like, we're both miserable. I'm miserable, the other person's miserable. And this is my 22-year-old, like, what if I can fix it? What if the solution is we just be miserable and we stop fighting with each other? But the end will come when it wants to come. And I'm terrified of the end. But I'm not going to rush it just because, to put myself out of my misery. It's nice to have people to get sick of and to hate and to be afraid of. It makes being on my own feel less crazy, because I'm like, oh my god, when I'm on my own when I'm on my own, I'm so sane. It's these people, they're making me feel crazy, but I'm sane. I'm like a sovereign mountain, and I'm myself. And I know what that means, even if it's terrible. But I'm so mean to myself. Like, that's just so sad to think that who you are is terrible. What a waste. What a waste. I'm not terrible. I just I'm working through stuff with others, and it's insanity. But then I'm like, okay, so it's these people and they're making me feel crazy, and then I go and be by myself because I think that, well, I'm sane and it's them, they're the problem, and then I go like to new depths of insanity by myself. So I've been through these cycles a couple times where I, cut off everyone. They're making me feel crazy, and then just go so crazy on my own, and then coming back to the people and being like, okay, well, I made this bargain with myself. I was like, okay, I know that being around other people is gonna make me feel crazy again, but that this also feels crazy. Being alone also feels crazy, so I'm just gonna stay. Even if being around them means that I can never be famous. I'm just gonna be like a wasted half version of my true potential, and everyone around me will look at me and say, oh, they could have done great things. Or maybe no one will say that. Maybe everyone else could see the whole time that I was destined for mediocrity, and any illusion of grandeur was ill-fated. Maybe so. But I don't know. It's not that I don't have ambitions. It's just the ambitions are a lot more about like an embodied sensation than like a social it's like status or something. Like one of my biggest fears is becoming successful and hating it. I'm really trying to avoid that. But I'm not trying to avoid success. Like, I think I am trying to avoid success in a maladaptive way because I'm afraid that it will feel bad. Julia and I were talking about this too. It's like, failure is simple, she said. It's clear. And I was like, yeah, success doesn't feel like success. It just feels like it's like everything because you just keep going. Like failure is like this, pit in your heart or your stomach, and just like like grief is just like this concrete feeling, or I failed, and it's done and there's nothing I can do. And success is just like, well, it's another day. I did this art exhibit and I thought it would be bad, and I was like, well, why don't I just like be silly with it, and the poster won't be that good, and nothing will be that good, and it wasn't it wasn't that good. It wasn't like amazing. It was okay, but I did it. And it seems like that's maybe what the whole life is gonna be like. It's just like continued mediocrity. Like everyone's like, oh, just show up. Anyway, I have to go. I have like 10 seconds left of footage. I love you. Bye.